You alright? My name's Craig. This is my Audi RS3. I've owned this car now for about a year and a half, just coming up to 2 years. The reason I bought this car, the main set off for me was the seats of it. So the seats on this car are RS3 wingbacks. To get this car with these seats now is an ultra rare thing to get hold of. So that's the main sort of aspiration that brought me to this car. And the other thing that really interested me in this car was that I've waited quite a long time for one, because I had an R32 before and I didn't know quite where to go in terms of speed, handling, control. So when I looked at that, I thought, R32 Volkswagen, where can I go from there that's going to handle and it's going to have a lot more power? And the next step was the RS3 for me, because I thought for price you can pick one up for about 16, 17 to the mid 23 mark. With the wingbacks you got to spend a lot more, but I looked at it and it just seemed to be the perfect car for driving style. It's got the speed you want. The Quattro system, which is now a Haldex in these, works amazing. So all in all, it's a great car. It's not permanent four-wheel drive, but it's there when you need it, or when your traction control comes on, it recorrects it. So there shouldn't be any major faults. So for handling, it's great. At the moment, I haven't done any modifications to the car. I've kept it stock. I'm looking in the future to hopefully make it quicker. So that's the main thing. The other things with it that I love is you get the awesome flat bottom steering wheel. This is a rare thing now. I find a lot of cars go for circular steering wheels. I think flat bottom is a real racing spec on the car. Then the only other things I've changed in it myself is an updated stereo sound system, because Audi sat-nav works amazing, but I like the Apple CarPlay, which this car's a 2012 plate. You don't get that in a 12 plate car, so for me it's a major thing, because I don't want to be on my phone while driving, because obviously against the law. I'm only 25 years old, so for someone of my age group, it's an affordable sports car, and I couldn't complain about anything on it. The servicing, the only thing was servicing the car. A light oil change with panel filter, with brake check, and comes with a free health check, which is complimentary by Audi, which is great if you're not very clued up on cars. They're going to tell you what's wrong with it, what needs, if your brakes are okay, which is a great service from them. That cost me about £240, which is not terrible. You can spend a lot more on other performance cars, so I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. Now, the other things I like about the car is the sleek body lines of it. So from behind, which I'm hoping most cars would be looking from behind, it's quite a sleek car, nothing set off. One major giveaway on it, which I love, is the wheel arch width. Apart from that, you can't beat an Audi honeycomb grille. It's an amazing little touch on Audis, and obviously for most Audi fans, you got your silver wing mirrors, which gives it away. So for me, all in all, car's a great car. MPGs, you're looking at anything for 12 miles per gallon if you're driving considerably fast to the UK law. If you're driving on a motorway in the right gear selection range, you can get anything from 29 to 37 miles per gallon if you drive it nicely. So yeah, for me, great car for my age. And yeah, this is Craig. Thanks for your time.
So as you can see, we have a Jaguar 1998 XK8 4-litre V8. Unfortunately, we were changing the timing chains ready for this year to be able to drive in it. Yeah, so it's done 79,000 miles at the moment, so it's under 80,000, and it does about 24 to the gallon. It's a 4-litre V8, so it's quite thirsty, but you'll do about 24 miles to the gallon on it. So the petrol constantly needs feeding back into it, but it's in great condition. It needs a good clean, and it needs a timing unit, but apart from that, it's great. So as you can see, the interior is quite nice. It's like 1998, so it's an older technology, but I really like the dials and the wood dashboard, because it's very indicative of Jaguar. All the seats and everything are really nice, and that kind of typical cream leather. So yeah, so it's already gone up in price since I've bought it, which is great, because normally you don't make a lot of money on cars. Generally they're not, that's not what they're for. Well, I haven't changed the gear stick. Actually says Jaguar Coventry on it. I don't know if you can see that. That's the only thing I've done in the interior, is actually put that little badge on it, which I quite like. Yeah, so the story of why I bought it, which I'll kind of go on to in a bit, is kind of down to my dad, which I'll go on to in a few minutes. In terms of its cost, generally it doesn't cost very much, apart from the petrol's about the worst thing for it, but it actually doesn't cost very much. The MOT is about £40 a year, and it's passed its MOT since I've had it. I needed to replace a brake pipe last year, which was on its way out, and this year I've spent the most on it, which is changing the timing change and the thermostat housing, which is probably about £1,000, and I need to get it serviced once a year. So normally a running cost without any repairs, you're probably talking a couple of £100 a year, but then this year I probably spent £1,000 on it already, just because I wanted to kind of update certain pieces of it, but that kind of happens every now and again anyway. That's just one of those things. Okay, so this is a picture of my dad, and that's his Trans Am. Back in the 1980s he had that. He was a big car guy, my dad, and he had a love of cars. When he was a young man, if you had a Jaguar, you'd made it in life. So that was kind of his thing. So he even had all these models of all the old Jags. You can see the E-Type there and the D-Type. My favourite one up there, the XK8, which is my favourite one. So those were his things, and he passed away a couple of years ago, and we'd been looking to get me and my wife had been looking to get a little car, just for running around in like a weekend kind of car, just something nice. I couldn't find anything I liked for ages, and we talked about it. Anyway, when he passed away, we boxed all of his stuff up, and when I finally unpacked it, I found this model right on the top of the box, which was a Jaguar XK8. And I thought, oh, that looks nice. Let's have a look at that. So we started looking around for a Jaguar XK8, and I really liked the look of them. And I thought, well, they look nice. I like these Mark 1s. They've got quite a nice looking car. You know, they've got a kind of mean look. They still look like a Jag, but they're cool. And then my wife kind of pointed out she didn't really like convertibles because her hair used to fly everywhere, which is true. So does mine. So I said, oh, that's fine. We can get the coupe kind of version, and that's kind of cool. So I had a look. And lo and behold, there was a guy 2 miles away on eBay that got one for sale, and it was like low mileage, mint condition, the right price. So I took it for a test drive, and when I went there, he had 2 cars. He had this Jaguar for sale, and he also had this car for sale. It wasn't the same car, but it was the same model a couple of years earlier. And I said, oh, my dad used to have one of those. And so he took me for a drive in it. And as soon as I drove it, I thought, oh no, I don't really like it. It's very clunky and it's not what I'm into. And then I drove this and I was like, oh yeah, that's what it's all about. So I just bought it there and then. So thanks for taking a look at my currently dormant Jaguar. And hopefully the next thing I send to you will be in running order. But we'll just have to wait and see. We're just waiting for this part from Germany, and then we'll have it back on the road and have a bit of fun in it.
Hi guys, this is Alex, and this is my Nissan GTR R35. This is a 2010 model. I bought this 2 years ago, and this was my dream of mine. First time I saw one of those in London on A406. And ever since I said I'm just gonna be working my ass off to get it. And eventually we got there 2 years ago, and it took me, like I said, 10 years for this to happen. And it's just proves if you work hard, you eventually it's gonna pay off. So I'm running 700, just shy of 700 engine power, a 1.4 bar boost. Obviously you can change that via Ecotech on your iPhone and stuff with a Bluetooth dongle. You can change maps and power you're running, and you can erase any fault codes, you name it. So there's quite a lot you can do with one of these. and as well as playing with traction control, clutch adjustments. Now car, in terms of reliability, I had small niggles. If you end up using the car on track, you be upgrading your brakes like I did and stuff. Didn't have major things, mechanical things happen or going wrong, but you know, the car is being used. Now in terms of keeping the cost, I would say you can pick up one of these from sort of 30k on today, but I'm already into this car about 60, and I'm only on for 2 years. So basically this is the car to modify, and eventually you're gonna end up modifying. I know people that are spend 250k etc on one of those, and they're running close to 1500 brake horsepower like madness, you know, a supercar, hypercar, killer. It's just one of those, you know what I mean? It's everybody's dream, you know. It's must in your garage, I guess. And here, this is the reason I own one, and so badly wanted. So time wise and what we do, 0 to 60, currently my best was 3.2 seconds 0 to 60, and 100 to 200 6.2 on a 1.5 bar boost. At very hot summer day at about 30 degrees Celsius. This one's done in Germany, obviously you're not allowed to do here on the UK roads, and I'm honest, and this car has been on the Nürburgring as well. At the time we measured the times, etc. So guys, I would just say, if you have a goals, just hit them in life, you know. If we work hard, we'll achieve some amazing things, you know. McLaren will be my next big dream, you know, and this is why I would wake up and will carrying on working and make sure, you know, we start driving them. And these cars must be driven, trucks, fast road, you name it. So stay safe, and bye.